Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Barber, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
A recent poll by the Pew Research Center finds that just a tiny handful of Americans find abortion morally acceptable. I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action. Joining me again in studio today is Shawn Akers, Liberty Counsel's Vice President of Middle Eastern Affairs. Shawn, there's some encouraging news coming out of the Pew Center, the Pew Research Center. A new poll, the latest poll they have on the issue of life and on the abortion issue, says that the most striking number that I found in this poll is that only 15% of Americans found abortion morally acceptable. And obviously, faith was a strong indicator of where a person would come down on this abortion issue, with 75% of Christians and Catholics recognizing that abortion is immoral, with those who adopt more of a secularist worldview saying that it's just fine. But this is encouraging to me. We have seen a trend in recent years where the euphemistic language of choice and reproductive freedom and the propagandist nonsense that come out of those who advocate abortion homicide, which is what it is, that it's losing its sting. The euphemistic language has been diluted to the point people finally recognize that it's just that. It's a bunch of euphemisms.
Matt, it's a fascinating poll all the way around. One, it does show you that by and large, almost half of the people of the United States, regardless of how you divide them up, are questioning the morality of abortion, and most finding it to be an immoral thing. Now, on the other side of that, you would think, and the way that the media has largely portrayed this, is that it's a 50-50 issue, that about half the nation believes that it's immoral, and about half believes that it's moral. But that's not at all what the Pew research showed. It showed that about half believe that it's immoral, and only about 15% have some strongly held belief that it's moral, and everyone else in the middle is questioning. They don't know what to believe. And the decisive factor seems to be, or one of the great decisive factors, appears to be not just religious affiliation, Matt, but whether you actually act on your religious affiliation. Those that go to church one time a week or more are 75% in the category of saying that abortion is immoral. Now that tells you something. It's a fascinating discussion. When we talk about presuppositions and we talk about worldview and we talk about these things, these ideas that we hold that we don't even realize we hold, that shape all the ideas that follow, these are the kinds of studies that show that in action. Those people who not only have a religious affiliation, Matt, but it's so tightly held, so closely held to them that they act on it weekly, are the ones who then find something like abortion to be truly an immoral act. And those who are completely separate from a Judeo-Christian worldview, who don't claim it and who don't act upon it, are those who would either question and not know how to feel about the subject, or take the opposite approach. But again, only about 15% of those hold that strongly held view.
What I think is interesting, as with any kind of campaign to persuade, we see it with election campaigns and so forth. Various parties, and I'll use a political campaign as an analogy here, will tend to they take the focus off of their strong base. In this case, the religious, those who, as you mentioned, go to church once or more a week. We're sold out pro-lifers. We get it. They get it. These campaigns focus on the mushy middle. What I find particularly interesting is that you see the pro-aborts constantly battling any kind of legislation that would provide more information, more disclosure, more informed consent, regulations to require informed consent of a woman getting ready to go through this very invasive procedure where at least one person dies in every instance, the baby, and oftentimes the mother can die or suffer medical complications as well. You see that those who are the strong pro-lifers, we're the ones saying, hey, let's have an open book here. Let's get more information and make more information available so people can make an informed choice, to use their language. Whereas those who talk in the euphemistic language of choice, that has nothing to do with choice. They literally are fighting the ACLU and everyone else, suing to prevent people from getting the information that they need to make an informed choice. That alone should tell you something. Everyone's going for the mushy middle. Those of us who want to enlighten and educate the mushy middle about the scientific realities of abortion, and those the pro-aborts want to keep them in the dark. That's very telling in and of itself.
It is, Matt, and it is also one of the brighter spots in current modern politics, though, is it does appear that this idea's time has come, that enough information has come out, and then when you have these widely publicized trials like the Gosnell trial that force to some extent the raw facts of these situations into the public mind, you find that most people, given just ordinary logic and the facts, come to a very reasonable conclusion that there's no great distinction between a child a few minutes before birth and a few minutes after birth, and that life is worth protecting, that this is exactly what the founders meant when they said that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I mean, this is not a difficult conclusion to draw. The encouraging thing is that, by and large, people are reaching that conclusion in larger numbers and on their own. So even the efforts to keep the information away from people and to posture these things in political terms, to politicize the entire discussion rather than allow the facts and logic to take over, is not winning right now. And most American people are saying, this really is a practice, regardless of how my parents believed, this is a practice that really has reached the end of its lifespan.
Yeah, and we see the pro-abort lobby in kind of the death throes of widespread acceptance of abortion. They're reacting in a very violent way. You'll recall in Texas when Governor Perry had said that he was prepared to sign a ban on certain late-term abortions in the state of Texas. You'll recall the pro-aborts just swarming onto the state capitol, coming armed with jars of feces and urines, intending to enter into on the floor and to ostensibly throw these things on lawmakers, pro-life lawmakers and so forth, chanting in the hallway as a group of Christians were singing Amazing Grace, chanting Hail Satan. The lines are being clearly drawn, and the more information becomes readily available, and the more the multi-billion-dollar abortion industry is held responsible and accountable for just minimal health and safety standards that other clinics that have similar medical procedures, that they're held to minimal standards. They're kind of in the death throes. They're panicked. They're throwing a fit, and their true colors are coming out.
Yeah, it's hard to explain that type of reaction to what's, in leftist terminology, really a policy discussion. But that's really where we are, Matt. And I think you've hit the nail on the head, though. There's certain factions of the pro-abortion movement that are truly running afraid right now. And part of that is the staggering success that the pro-life movement is having in state legislatures. When you take this to the states, for so long, even the left said maybe we should just let the states decide. And they said that when they thought that the federal temperature was running against them. But now that the federal tends to run a little more toward the more liberal strand, then they don't want to. They want to avoid the states. But what you're finding is that state lawmakers are seeing both politically and within their own groups of people that this is a very viable and doable thing right now, and you're seeing that with these 20-week limitations and with others that are starkly limiting the availability of abortions, especially in the later terms.
Well, folks, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what our founders held near and dear. It's what we at Liberty Counsel hold near and dear. You can't have liberty, you can't have happiness without life. Stand with us as we stand in the gap to protect innocent human life. Go to lc.org or give us a call, 1-800-671-1776, to find out how you can help Liberty Counsel as we help those who can't help themselves.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.